Dorit Kemsley. 4 years. She reigned as the ultimate fashion icon of Beverly Hills, draped in head-to-toe designer labels, living a life most could only dream of. But behind the closed doors of her multi-million-dollar mansion, a brutal storm was brewing, and her glamorous empire was nothing but a house of cards. New, explosive details have officially leaked, revealing that Dorit's entire career and personal life are facing a ruthless, irreversible downfall. But the most shocking twist? Her own close friend, Erika Jayne, is the mastermind who weaponized these secrets to dismantle her. From a staggering $6.5 million foreclosure crisis to a vicious, toxic divorce war fueled by extreme financial sabotage, the illusion of Dorit's perfect life has completely shattered. Erika knew exactly where to strike, exposing the dark truth behind Dorit's fake wealth and leaving her isolated, broke, and blacklisted by the elite. So, how did a simple friendship turn into the most calculated takedown in reality TV history? Grab your popcorn, because today we are exposing the disturbing timeline of how Erika Jayne orchestrated the absolute destruction of Dorit Kemsley. To uncover the true scale of this downfall, we have to pull back the heavy, gold-plated curtains of Beverly Hills and look at the foundation of what can only be described as a beautifully constructed lie. For years, Dorit Kemsley was the undisputed queen of excessive luxury on television. Every single episode, every red carpet, and every paparazzi photo showed a woman who did not just wear fashion, she wore wealth. We're talking about custom-made pieces, rare diamond collections, and an attitude that screamed generational millions. She painted a picture of absolute perfection, convincing millions of viewers that she and her husband, PK Kemsley, were floating on an endless sea of cash. But as the old saying goes, the brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadow it casts. Behind that fiercely protected image of high society glamour lay a reality so dark, so stressful, and so deeply unstable that it is a miracle the facade lasted as long as it did. The truth is, Dorit's golden empire wasn't built on solid ground. It was built on a mountain of high-interest loans, desperate financial maneuvering, and a frantic race to outrun the truth. The first massive crack in this pristine armor appeared where it hurts the most, her home. For a long time, the jewel in Dorit's crown was her breathtaking $6.5 million mansion. This house was not just a place to live. It was her ultimate status symbol, the physical proof that she belonged at the top of the Beverly Hills hierarchy. It was the backdrop for extravagant parties, high-end fashion shoots, and the envy of her co-stars. But terrifying new details have emerged from official housing records, revealing that this very mansion is currently teetering on the edge of a brutal foreclosure. The bank is actively moving to seize the property, threatening to literally lock the doors and throw her out onto the street. Now, you might wonder how someone with supposedly unlimited resources lets a situation get this desperate. The answer is found in the mind-boggling numbers hidden within the legal filings. Dorit and PK completely defaulted on their obligations, missing a staggering $842,000 in mortgage payments. This is not a minor oversight or a simple bank error. This is a catastrophic failure to pay nearly $1 million to keep a roof over their heads. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. When financial investigators began to untangle this massive mess, they discovered a web of deceit that left seasoned reality TV analysts completely speechless. This $6.5 million home was not funded through a standard, reputable bank like normal wealthy individuals do. Instead, the property was being kept alive by an unbelievable 11 private lenders. Let that number sink in for a moment. 11 separate private entities were holding pieces of this home. This means Dorit and PK were trapped in a vicious, desperate cycle of financial juggling. They were literally taking out a loan from lender number 4 just to pay off the interest to lender number 3, and then turning around to borrow from lender number 5 to keep lender number 4 quiet. It was a financial house of cards that required absolute perfection to keep from collapsing. Because of this chaotic, multi-layered debt, an even more humiliating truth was exposed. Dorit's actual equity in her own home has plummeted to a pathetic 5%. Out of a $6.5 million asset, she owns practically nothing. Her control over her primary residence, her ultimate asset, is virtually zero. The lenders own her home, they own her space, and they ultimately own her narrative. This is exactly where Erika Jayne enters the equation with deadly precision. Erika is not someone who watches from the sidelines. She is a woman who has survived her own public, multi-million-dollar legal and financial warfare, and she knows exactly how to spot blood in the water. Erika recognized that Dorit was completely vulnerable, suffocating under a mountain of hidden debt while trying to maintain a fake lifestyle on television. Instead of protecting her friend, Erika used her deep understanding of public relations and reality TV dynamics to subtly pull the rug out from under Dorit. She began dropping calculated hints, changing her behavior, and shifting the group dynamics in a way that forced the spotlight directly onto Dorit's inconsistencies. Erika knew that in the world of high society, perception is everything. By quietly exposing the cracks in Dorit's financial armor to the rest of the cast and influential media circles, Erika ensured that the world would start looking closer. And once people started looking closer, the illusion of the perfect Kemsley lifestyle shattered into a million unfixable pieces, setting the stage for a career downfall from which Dorit may never recover. As the financial foundation of Dorit's world began to crumble under the weight of 11 private lenders, an even more toxic storm was brewing inside her own household. The pressure of trying to sustain a fake multi-million-dollar lifestyle on television while drowning in nearly $1 million of missed mortgage payments finally pushed her marriage past the breaking point. What followed was not just a quiet, dignified separation, but a vicious, scorched-earth divorce war that completely exposed the inner rot of the Kemsley union. For years, Dorit and PK presented themselves as an unbreakable team, the ultimate ride-or-die couple navigating the treacherous waters of Hollywood together. But the moment the money dried up, the masks came off, and the mutual accusations hurled in the courtroom revealed a terrifying level of resentment, manipulation, and betrayal. This was no longer just about splitting assets. It became a public campaign of mutual destruction where both sides used their financial secrets as weapons to completely ruin each other's reputation. The opening blow in this marital warfare came from PK, and his accusations struck right at the heart of Dorit's identity. PK alleged that the entire financial catastrophe was driven by Dorit's uncontrollable, compulsive obsession with her public image. In official legal environments, the narrative emerged that Dorit had completely lost touch with reality, burning through an astonishing $1 million on luxury shopping alone. While the banks were sending warning notices and private lenders were demanding their money back, PK claimed that Dorit was completely focused on buying designer clothes, rare handbags, and high-end jewelry just to keep up appearances for the cameras. According to this side of the war, her desperate need to look like the wealthiest woman in Beverly Hills directly caused the foreclosure crisis, bleeding their accounts dry and leaving their family vulnerable to absolute ruin. It was a calculated move to paint Dorit as a shallow, irresponsible shopper whose vanity destroyed her family's security. However, Dorit did not take this attack lying down, and her counteraccusation was infinitely more sinister. She fired back with a claim that painted PK not as a victim of her spending, but as a calculated emotional and financial abuser. Dorit explicitly alleged that PK's failure to pay the mortgage and keep up with the family's basic bills was completely intentional. She claimed that PK deliberately withheld funds and skipped payments to create a massive financial trap for her. By secretly letting their debts pile up and ensuring that she had zero equity in their major assets, Dorit argued that PK was trying to strip away her independence. The goal, according to her narrative, was to leave her completely broke, isolated, and utterly dependent on him for her survival, effectively neutralizing her career and keeping her under his total control. It was a horrifying glimpse into a marriage that had devolved into an active psychological battlefield, with both parties accusing the other of weaponizing wealth to destroy their lives. This explosive marital warfare provided the absolute perfect leverage for Erika Jayne to execute her final, ruthless chess move. Erika didn't just stand by and watch the marriage dissolve. She understood that a woman fighting a multi-front war against her husband and her banks is a woman who cannot defend her professional career. Erika skillfully utilized the chaotic noise of the divorce to systematically dismantle Dorit's standing in the entertainment and fashion industries. Every time a new detail about the shopping habits or the deliberate financial traps leaked to the public, Erika was there to control the narrative among the elite social circles of Beverly Hills. She subtly validated the rumors, shifting the group's loyalty away from Dorit and making her an absolute social liability. By ensuring that the network, the sponsors, and the fans viewed Dorit not as a glamorous victim of circumstance, but as a fraudulent figure tangled in a messy, toxic legal war. Erika effectively sealed her fate. The high-end brands that once fought to be featured on Dorit's social media began quietly pulling their contracts, refusing to have their names associated with a crumbling empire and a messy divorce, leaving Dorit completely stranded at the absolute lowest point of her life. With her marriage completely shattered and her financial deceit laid bare for the entire world to see, the final phase of Dorit Kemsley's ruthless downfall shifted from her private life straight to her professional career. This is where Erika Jayne's calculated influence delivered the ultimate, fatal blow. In the brutal world of reality television and high society entertainment, your value is entirely tied to your relevance, your lifestyle, and your social standing. Erika, being a master of survival and a veteran of public backlash, knew exactly how to manipulate these unspoken rules to ensure Dorit's permanent isolation. Erika understood that a reality star who loses her wealth loses her storyline, and a reality star who loses her mind-boggling luxury loses her audience. Instead of extending a helping hand to a colleague in distress, Erika systematically weaponized Dorit's vulnerabilities during filming, turning what should have been a personal crisis into a highly publicized professional execution. The turning point occurred when Erika began shifting the entire group dynamic against Dorit behind the scenes. In Beverly Hills, alignment is everything, and Erika skillfully began whispering in the ears of the cast's most influential players, pointing out that Dorit's entire presence on the show was built on a fraud. She highlighted the hypocrisy of a woman preaching about high-end design while holding a mere 5% equity in a home funded by 11 private lenders. This calculated campaign completely destroyed Dorit's credibility within her social circle. Friends who once stood by her during minor dramas began to distance themselves, terrified that the toxic stench of Dorit's impending bankruptcy and messy foreclosure would ruin their own personal brands. Dorit suddenly found herself completely alone on an island, facing aggressive questioning during production with absolutely no allies to defend her character. Erika had successfully painted her as a liability, making her an easy target for the network executives who were looking to trim the fat from the show. But the destruction did not stop at television ratings. The true catastrophe of Erika's influence manifested in the complete annihilation of Dorit's external business ventures. For years, Dorit relied heavily on her television platform to secure lucrative brand endorsements, launching swimwear lines, bridal collections, and high-fashion collaborations that brought in millions. However, as Erika continuously pushed the narrative of Dorit's financial ruin into the public eye, the elite fashion houses of Hollywood took notice. High-end brands are fiercely protective of their images. They want to be associated with genuine wealth, aspiration, and pristine reputations. Not with a woman whose house is being seized by the bank and whose husband is accusing her of blowing $1 million on manic shopping sprees. One by one, major sponsors began quietly canceling their contracts with Dorit. Potential business partners pulled out of negotiations, and her upcoming fashion lines were abruptly shelved before they could even hit the market. Dorit's income streams were evaporating at the exact moment she needed them most to fight her legal battles. By the time the cameras stopped rolling on the most recent, explosive reunion, the full extent of the damage became undeniable. Dorit had spent years meticulously crafting an image of an untouchable, ultra-wealthy European aristocrat living in the heart of California, but Erika Jayne had completely stripped that armor away, leaving her exposed as a broke, isolated figure fighting for financial survival. Erika's ruthless strategy had worked perfectly. She had protected her own position on the network by delivering the ultimate takedown of a rival, while ensuring that Dorit's career was left in absolute tatters. Dorit was no longer a major player in the industry. She had been reduced to a cautionary tale of reality television fame. She was a woman who flew too close to the sun on wings made of borrowed money, completely outmaneuvered by a friend who knew exactly how to turn a personal tragedy into an unforgettable career execution. The absolute destruction of Dorit Kemsley's glamorous empire serves as a brutal reminder of a harsh reality in Hollywood. The higher you build a house of cards, the more devastating it is when it finally comes crashing down. Dorit spent years trying to convince the world that she was living an untouchable, ultra-luxury fairy tale, but behind the closed doors of that $6.5 million mansion, the truth was infinitely darker. She was trapped in a financial nightmare of 11 private lenders, a mere 5% equity, an $842,000 mortgage default, and a toxic, vengeful divorce war that completely stripped away her dignity. And right there in the shadows was Erika Jayne, waiting with deadly precision to turn those deeply personal vulnerabilities into a highly publicized professional execution. Erika didn't just watch the downfall happen. She masterfully controlled the narrative, turned the entire cast against her, and completely alienated Dorit from the elite social and business circles of Beverly Hills until her career was left in absolute tatters. Now, the real question leaves the ballroom and lands directly with you. What do you think about this explosive reality TV takedown? Do you believe Dorit is simply a victim of her husband's calculated financial traps and Erika's cold, ruthless manipulation? Or do you think her own extreme vanity, compulsive million-dollar shopping sprees, and desperate need to maintain a completely fake lifestyle are what truly caused her own ruin? Hit the comments below and let us know your thoughts, because this is a conversation you definitely don't want to miss. If you want to stay completely ahead of the game with more exclusive, deep-dive celebrity breakdowns, jaw-dropping betrayals, and unfiltered reality TV updates just like this one, make sure to smash that like button right now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on all your notifications so you never miss a single second of the drama. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you in the very next video.